Hello everyone, and welcome back to another tier list. Today we're going to be ranking every single Forza Horizon game from the very first one to the very recently released Horizon 5. Also, I'm going to be ranking the Horizon 2 standalone expansion called Forza Horizon 2 Presents Fast and the Furious, which I'm honestly not sure if anyone actually remembers that game, but we'll be ranking anyway. Before we begin though, I just want to say the support on this channel has been unreal. In only 5 months, yes, this channel has been around for 5 months, we've hit almost 400 subscribers, which is insane. And I can't believe I checked the other day and I saw you guys have watched over 5,000 hours of my content. That's insane. Obviously, most of it's come from the Assassin's Creed video, which is almost at 70,000 views. Insane. The Far Cry videos, everything goes, gets done insane. And, so we're back on our tier list. I am working on some other stuff. Not just tier list, I'm working on some other stuff, but let's get into this tier list. Let's head into the very first entry that kicked off the spin-off Forza Motorsport franchise. The first entry into the uber-successful spin-off franchise was a smaller but great first try. Horizon 1 was developed by a completely new development studio, Playground Games. This studio was founded in 2010 in the UK, and in only 2 years, they were founded in 2010, but in 2012, they released Forza Horizon 1, which was a fully open-world racing game that would go on to create an incredible franchise that would span over 5 games and likely many, many more Horizons. The first Forza Horizon game was set in Colorado in the USA at the Horizon Festival. At this time, the Horizon Festival was a street racing event, which allows contestants to progress by winning races and performing stunts. You would play as a racer trying to climb the ranks of the Horizon Festival. The first game mostly focused on the street racing, with little to no focus on off-roading at all. You could do off-roading though, because it is an open world, so you could race around in the countryside of Colorado, but there wasn't really any races dedicated to off-roading. Horizon 1 featured over 200 cars, which actually wasn't that great. Compared to the recently released, only a year ago, Horizon 1 came out in 2012, in 2011 came Forza Motorsport 4, which had over 500 cars. Yeah. By comparison, that's not great. But you got to remember this was a very first time game for the Forza series. This was a spin-off, and it's unlikely to see if Microsoft ever had any plans to turn this into a franchise. So it's likely to see that the game likely had a much smaller budget and scope. But of course, the game was massive and turned into a full franchise and is bigger than the Forza Motorsport series has ever been. Overall though, I think Horizon 1 is great. It kicked off an incredible franchise and made Playground into one of Microsoft's top developers for the Xbox. And with a great environment, though not graphically impressive by today's standards, at the time on the Xbox 360, it was phenomenal. Looking at the sights, it was beautiful, the map. Though I think Horizon 1, due to starting the franchise, the open world can sometimes feel a little lifeless with no cars on the road and nothing really happening in the world, unless, it was just you or 2 other AI cars on the road, which I feel is a bit of a negative, but again, Xbox 360. The solid racing though, this game, the racing is so solid and fun that I think it does belong in the A tier. The only reason I believe it falls short of the S tier is it's so much smaller in scope and size than any of the other games. Horizon 2 onwards is 50 times the scale of this game. There's so much more in every other game, but that's not really a fault. Horizon 1 was the very first entry, and Microsoft likely had no plans to turn this into one of their biggest franchises ever. So I feel like it's a negative, but you can't hold it against it. The game, obviously, at the time, had no idea it was going to become Microsoft's biggest franchise alongside Halo. Almost exactly 2 years later came Forza Horizon 2, the sequel to the first great open-world racer. But did it live up to the expectations? Of course it did. Horizon 2 was a massive step up in every single department, other than one category that I know I'm going to get some flack for. But I'm going to wait before I say it, because I don't want to make myself a target too early in the video. At launch, Horizon 2 debuted with only 210 cars, which is a modest 10-car increase over the original. But after all the DLCs and the car pass had launched, the game ended with a massive 313 cars, which is a major improvement over the original. But it took some time for us to get to that point. The newly introduced car meets allowed players to line up their cars and compare the designs and looks. though the car me feature has since been taken out of the series, last featuring in Horizon 3 and not returning in Horizon 4 or 5. It was a really cool addition though. I actually really liked it, like lining up everyone's cars, all your friends, and you could share tuning setups and liveries really easily, which before wasn't really that possible. Also debuting for the first time in Horizon 2 was a dynamic weather system, with changing day and night cycles and rain, which had never been in Forza games until this point. Now, this is the controversial part. Please don't flame me too hard in the comments, because I know people are not going to be too happy about this, but again, please remember, this is just my opinion. Okay, deep breath. Now, the world of Horizon 2 was 3 times bigger than Colorado, more detailed, bigger in every sense, and it was set in France and Italy. For the first time, the series had 2 different countries in the same game. But my issue with the world was, I didn't really like the sights and the vistas at all. Horizon 2 is great, it's a great racer, it's got some phenomenal moments, but for me personally, and yes, this is my own opinion, I just didn't like the world of France and Italy that much. It just, to me, didn't stand out as much. I actually preferred Colorado. I think, I don't really know why it is. I've been trying to figure out, I'm trying to place my finger on why I don't like Horizon 2's world compared to the other 4 games. But that is my only negative. I don't know why I don't like France and Italy so much, but yeah, that's my only negative. Again, this is just my opinion. But to me, there's only one major negative, and that has to be factored in, which is the cross-generational launch. This game launched at the same time as the new, well, not the same time, but a year after the Xbox One had launched in 2014. But it also released on the Xbox 360, which resulted in a completely different game almost with a different developer. Sumo Digital would handle the 360 version, which meant that the Xbox 360 version had a 33% smaller map, still bigger than Horizon 1 though, no dynamic weather, so no changing day and night cycle or rain, no drive avatars. All the car models in the game were also all taken from Forza Motorsport 4. Yes, that means there was no new car models. If they were in Horizon 1, all the Horizon 1 cars were already taken from Motorsport 4 anyway, so you'd be playing in a 2014 game taking car models from 2011. Not exactly great. This to me has to be a negative. Yeah, it's great that Xbox 360 users at the time could play Horizon 2, but when it delivers a much lesser experience, I don't know if it should have been done. I'm glad people could experience the game, but it just feels like it was a much less experience than what we got on the Xbox One. Overall though, Horizon 2 on the Xbox One is fantastic. Even though I didn't like the map that much, I have to say I really enjoyed the game. But I do have to count the subpar version that released on the 360. Sumo Digital did a great job making the game play well and run on the 360, but there's so many compromises that it's almost at times a completely different game. Meaning I'm going to be putting this, due to the 360 version and me just not liking the map, in the B tier. I know I'm ready for the comments, but please, 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 before you go write up like a 7-long page essay on why I'm wrong, please remember this is just my opinion, and just try and respect that, you know, we all have different opinions, and personally, I just wasn't big on the map. So just try and respect that. If you like Horizon 2's map, which I know hundreds of people, not hundreds, thousands upon thousands of people do, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. I just personally did not like it. Alright, welcome to Horizon 3. Wait a minute. Oh, I forgot about that. Let's go back to 2015 for 1 minute. You may not even know this existed, and I wouldn't blame you. It's not a great game. Forza Horizon 2 presents the Fast and the Furious features you acquiring 10 cars from the Fast and Furious 7 movie. It added a nitrous oxide boost, which was locked races. You could really just not really use it in the open world very much, and it was the same map, locked off. A lot of parts were locked off, but it's the same map. It's not a great standalone game or standalone DLC. I doubt anyone really played it, but if you did, I feel sorry for you because you paid for it, and because only a month after it launched, it was free on Gold. Yeah, not great at all. It adds variety to this tier list though, as it will be the only game featured in the D tier, and I guess it's the only game to go below a C tier on this list. Okay, heading away from Europe, we land in Australia. which was already double the size of Horizon's 2 map, and I'm gonna immediately say, I don't think there's any point holding it off. This is my favorite Horizon. I am 100% biased towards this game. But I'm gonna try to take some of my bias out of the equation, but that's not gonna happen, is it? This game I put so much time into. I spent hundreds of hours racing myself and with friends. Like, I spent so much time with friends playing this game that it's always gonna hold a special place in my heart. Like, I imagine if you've played this series, you probably have the same game as well that holds a special place in your heart with friends or just by yourself. This was also the first game that would be an Xbox One exclusive, and it also launched on the PC for the very first time ever. With the biggest Horizon car debut ever, with 350 cars available at launch, but after all DLC was 524. This was another first time for the series though. Your player, instead of just being a racer going up the festival ladder, you were actually now the Horizon director, and were in charge of expanding and creating new festival locations while also racing around Australia and, well, winning your own festival, which was kinda weird. Now, Horizon 3 added the Blueprint feature, which allows players to create their own races and championships, which allowed for an ultimate level of creativity that we'd never seen before. A full 4-player online co-op was added for the very first time as well. And overall, let's just say, come on guys, we know where I'm going to put this game, and there's no reason to keep everyone waiting. We all know where I'm going to be putting Horizon 3. This is an S-tier Horizon game. The best one up until this point. Returning to Europe and heading into the UK for its biggest game ever up until this point, Forza Horizon 4 came. This game was incredible. Man, it added seasons, easily one of my favourite additions. Every single week, you could see the map completely change with tons of small changes. Like in winter, the lakes would be frozen over and you could drive over them, which was really, really cool. And man, I just love this game. It featured over 750 cars after all the DLC. And really, what is there to say about Horizon 4? It perfected the formula and had gorgeous, breathtaking visuals that have aged perfectly, as the game is almost 3 years old. And, you know, it was incredible. There's a shared world. 72 players could drive around Britain, which is really cool. The game also had the biggest post-launch support ever, with the game having 37 series updates, which added cars or bug fixes, new modes, Horizon Stories, which has added like fun mini-games and a little story to play through, and a battle royale called the Eliminator. It was kind of weird, but it's free, I guess. Overall, what's there to say? This game has perfected the Horizon formula and nailed the map once again. But by this point, it was clear. Playground games have perfected the formula and nailed the map. They nail the gameplay, and they nail everything. And it was pretty clear, Playground games are never going to fail to make fans happy. Seems every 2 years we would just get a phenomenal game from them. Actually, it would be every 3 years now, as the next entry for Forza Horizon 4 wouldn't release until November 2021, 3 years after Horizon 4 launched. But let's be honest, with Horizon 4, this game is an S tier. I'm actually not sure if this is a controversial pick at all, but I love this game. and you know, I've said it many times, but I love Horizon 4. The most recent entry for the series launched this month in November 2021. For the first time, we would head to Mexico and see the best graphics for any game on this planet, I think. Playing this game on a Series X is a must-do. You have to play Horizon 5 on a next-gen console. If you pick up either the Series X or the Series S or the Xbox One, this game looks genuinely photorealistic at times. Genuinely photorealistic. It looks incredible. Mexico is actually 50% bigger than Horizon 4. Though to me, I actually didn't notice this. I actually thought Mexico was smaller than Britain until I started making this video, researching stuff. New massive sandstorms are the perfect evolution of the season systems from Horizon 4, as with sandstorms now just around the map, and seasons now all happen at the exact same time. In some areas of the map there'll be like the wet season, and in some areas it's the dry season. I think this is a really cool way, instead of it being the weekly rotating system, which means you had to wait a week until your favourite season. Well, potentially up to 4 weeks for your favourite season when it goes away. Launching with 518 cars is massive, but some have been locked away at launch due to weekly rotating events. But it's an absolutely massive amount of cars, and this is without DLC. And it amazes me that one day we will sit down and play a Horizon game that will have 1,000 cars. That's going to be insane. But now the game has just launched. The game's only a couple weeks old and I've not finished it. But in a couple weeks, I've put in almost 10 hours of playtime. I have played so much of this game and I can already say it's one of my favorites in the series already. I love the map, the graphics, the cards, the seasons, literally everything about the game. I love it. I have yet to find something in this game I dislike. S tier. Yes, I'm putting it in the S tier. I have no competition, and DLC and free updates are only going to make this better. With all the free updates and DLC, I believe this game can enter S+, something above S, because I don't know where it can go, because this might just be the best one in the series yet, but we'll wait until like all the updates and DLC are out, and maybe I'll update this tier list when Forza Horizon 6 comes out. But thank you for watching, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again around here. If you have enjoyed the video, please hit me down with a subscribe, a like, or a comment. Please a nice comment. You know, I read a lot of negative comments, it'd be nice for a positive one, but that doesn't matter, as long as you have a lovely day and enjoyed watching. Thanks for watching.